Well, notice here, I already have a common denominator. So if I have a common denominator, this is equal to 6 minus 5 divided by 13w, which is equal 1 over 13w. You always want to watch the preview, because if I don't put these parentheses, that w was not in the denominator. The w was in the numerator. You have to make sure you check. Again here, this is easy because we already have a common denominator. All I have to do is add the numerators together. So this equals 9 plus 7 over 3p minus 1, which equals 16 over 3p minus 1. I'm not going to check my answer. I promise it's correct. Same, we still have a common denominator, 4x plus z divided by 11x minus 5x minus 4z divided by 11x. This you have to be very careful with. We have a common denominator, but what we're really doing is we're saying 4x plus z minus 5x minus 4z. If you just take that negative and put it to the 5x, it's going to be incorrect. You have to distribute that negative. So we have 4x plus z minus 5x plus 4z divided by 11x. We're going to combine like terms in the numerator. So we have 4x minus 5x is minus x, plus z plus 4z is 5z, divided by 11x. If you don't put parentheses, watch what happens. You have minus x plus 5z divided by, over here, look at the 5z. It's not going to be right, is it? That's because I didn't put my parentheses. Once I put my parentheses, now, look, there's the numerator divided by the denominator. Oh, I didn't put my parentheses. Look where the x landed. I have to put parentheses. Make sure you always check that your answer looks the way you want it to look. See, that looks like this. That means we're ready to check our answer, and now it's correct. This one's actually the same, but something might happen here when we add them. Let's try. We have r squared minus 10r. Since they both have the same denominator, I'm just going to start by writing it like this. That's my common denominator. That means I can add the numerator. The problem is here, we don't know if we have anything in common. We might actually have some common factors, so we might need to simplify. Now here, my a is 1. By now, many of you have the system down, hopefully. 6 times 4 is 24, and 6 plus 4 is 10. That means they just both need to be negative. R minus 4, R minus 6. And that becomes R squared minus 10R plus 24. Divided by, well, 30 is 5 and 6. So we have an R, we have an R, we have a 5, we have a 6. Now, I look here and I see that the middle term is negative. Since the middle term is negative, I know that the bigger number has to be negative because I'm going to add the smaller number to it. So this is minus 6R plus 5r is minus r. And now we can see that these do cancel. And we end up with r minus 4 divided by r plus 5. And that's it. Sometimes after you add the numerators, you may have to factor again, which is why I say if you have it in factored form in the denominator, don't multiply it back together. Because when you add the numerators, you might have to factor them back out. We have negative 7 over 6r minus 7 over 4r. Well, if I want to know what they have in common or how to make the least common denominator, 6r becomes 2 times 3 times r. And now I have a factor tree that has an extra limb. And 4r is going to be 2 times 2 times r. What do they have in common? They both have a 2. They both have an r. So to make them the same, I need to multiply this by 2 and this by 3. I have to multiply this by 2 over 2. I have to multiply this by 3 over 3. Now I get minus 14 divided by 12r minus 21 divided by 12r, which is equal to, I have a common denominator. This is minus 14 minus 21, which equals negative 35 divided by 12r. Well, we have to check again. 35 is just 5 times 7, and neither 5 or 7 are factors of 12. That is my final answer. Our least common denominator in this problem is 4. We need to multiply the fraction on the left by 4. And least common denominator, we have 6p to the 4th, 3p to the 5th. My 6 is 2 times 3. Here we have a 3. We have 4 p's. And here I'm going to say we have 4 p's and an extra one. We have the 3's in common, the p to the 4th in common. So I need to multiply this by p and this by 2. I have 5 over 6p to the 4th minus 1 over 3p to the 5th. Now I'm going to multiply this by p over p and this by 2 over 2. What does that give me? 5p divided by 6p to the 5th minus 2 over 6p to the 5th, which is equal to 5p minus is plus 2 divided by 6p to the 5th. And that would be my final answer. I cannot simplify this anymore because I can only cancel factors. I can't cancel terms. 5p plus 2 has no factors, which means I'm done. The problem is complete. 1 over q minus 8 minus 3 over 2q. Now, we have no factors in common. Q minus 8, I can't factor. 2q, it doesn't matter, 2 times q. I'm going to multiply them times each other. So this is times 2q divided by 2q. This is times q minus 8 divided by q minus 8. Here we get 2q over 2q times q minus 8. The right-hand side is also going to be the same. I can say minus 3 times q minus 8. That equals 2q minus 3q plus 24 divided by 2q times q minus 8, which equals 2q minus 3q is negative q plus 24 divided by 2q times q minus 8. It says completely factor and simplify your answer as much as possible. I think it's as simplified as possible. If I had a greatest common factor in the numerator, I would also have to make sure that I factored it. Looks good. And there we have. Here we have 4 divided by 9s minus 2 plus 9s. And here, let's factor out a 2, because that leaves me 9s minus 2. Notice this is the same as this. All I really have to do is multiply this by 2 over 2, because now they're exactly the same. This becomes 8 divided by 2 times 9s minus 2 plus 9s. That's it. I didn't do anything to the second fraction. Factor completely, simplify as much as possible. That's it. Number 22. Again, I look here. If I factor 20m minus 8 and 5m minus 2, the only thing over here that factors is I can take a 4 out of both terms, which gives me 5m minus 2. Now I know I have to multiply the second fraction by 4. I'm not going to do it to the end. I'm just going to show you what I need. I have this divided by 4 times 5m minus 2 plus m plus 6 divided by 5m minus 2, and I have to multiply this by 4 over 4, which gives me 5m plus 7 plus 4 times m plus 6 divided by 4 times m minus 2. And if you continue, you'll get the right answer. I think this is far enough. You just combine like terms, make sure there's nothing you can cancel, and then move to the next problem. Here we have 6d plus 1. Notice in my denominator, it's not in standard form. I'm going to change it to standard form. Same exact number, minus 3d plus 4, but I put it in standard form. Minus 5d minus 2 divided by 3d minus 4. Well, I want my leading term to be positive. This is equal to 5d plus 1, and I'm going to factor out a negative, and that gives me 3d minus 4. Minus 5d minus 2 over 3d minus 4. So first I factor, then I'm going to multiply this side by minus 1 over minus 1, because that gives me negative 6d plus 1 minus 5d minus 2 divided by Well, this negative and this negative cancel, make it positive, so I have 3d minus 4. I have a lot of sign changes in the numerator, so let's get it right. Minus 6d minus 1 minus 5d plus 2 divided by 3d minus 4. That equals minus 6d minus 5d is minus 11d. Minus 1 plus 2 is plus 1 divided by 3d minus 4. Let's check our answer. All right, very good.